I was not expecting a female voice. Generic intro in the Duck Goes We're back with some more weapon stereotypes by Soundsmith. Today we have episode 8, the Medic, which I don't think the Medic has that many different guns, so I'm not really sure why it's like a similar link to the Engineer, but we're going to find out today. You want to check out my reaction to the last one, which was the Engineer. I'll leave that video right up there, also linked down below in the description. Also, we play this on my channel with all the other Team Fortress 2 stuff. I just reacted to Banny, so that's interesting. You want to check out that. That was up on Friday, so all you have to do is go back a couple videos to find that one. Dude, that dude's insane. Definitely check out that video. I've played Medic like twice. I did one video for the first time playing Medic, and then I did, I think, a Battle Medic video where the entire team ended up being Battle Medics. I'll leave that video right there. You can check that out. That was a really interesting video. But thank you to everybody that shows support for these videos, and thanks to the patrons down below that allowed me to do this without having a paywall. If you want a chance to win a signed duck like this one, you can become an insane patron. It's just a way for me to give back and give, you know, just something back to these people, because they've been supporting me for, some of them have been supporting me for years, and I just want to show some kind of appreciation towards them and all of you. So thank you all so much for the comments, the likes, the views, the subscriptions, everybody that comes to my Discord server, all the DMs, everything. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. I am too, and I'm hopefully making your day just a tiny little bit better each and every time you watch them. So I'm super excited to get into the Medic. I hope you are too, but let's go ahead and jump on into it. Oh man, Ned did the Medic.
Medic.
Yeah,
man, where do I even start with this guy? I mean, you've got a
Medic.
complete and total psychopath in a support role. That kind of seems like a recipe for disaster, and honestly, it kind of is. Medic mains are notorious for being a mixed bag. You could get a super nice guy one moment and then have a complete asshole the next.
Troll.
You never really know, but you might be able to know if you take a look at his weapons. Actually, you know what? Not really. Okay, hang on. You know what? Full stop.
I don't think there's
stop.
Choices.
I know you guys have heard this a million times before, but apparently people are still taking these things as gospel. So I'm doing the disclaimer thing again.
Now.
Stereotypes don't mean everyone. Like, I know you've heard that so many times, but I'm serious. This series is meant to poke fun at the assumptions that people make. Don't make those same assumptions because some ginger idiot from Texas said so in a satirical series. Okay. Like, seriously, stop. Just... Okay, are we okay? I'm sorry.
Are we okay? I don't know.
People are still taking these seriously. Start the music. Start the episode. Let's go.
There you go. Oh well, that was easy. Weapon stereotypes. The Medic. Oh man, make sure to subscribe. The syringe gun
is actually kind of okay. If you can aim it, it does pretty decent damage. That said, it's really underused by experienced players because, you know, the crossbow just exists. Its regen is really good when comparing it to the Blutsauger, and it can be a decent tool to deter people.
Blutsauger is what I use for Battle Medic.
At the end of the day, people who use this really fall into one of 3 categories: new player, ×10 enthusiast, or hipster who insists that it's an underrated weapon and refuses to use the meta out of principle.
Okay. Blutsauger.
This is the second most common primary. You'll see it used somewhat often.
Yeah. Battle Medic.
Basically, this guy is either a Battle Medic, in which case, just give up trying to
check out that video.
Just like
an entire team.
It's not gonna
Battle
happen.
Medics.
Or a guy who doesn't trust his team or his pocket in the slightest. It's the go-to weapon for the situation that I like to call the "for fuck's sake, there's a scout in my face and my team isn't even turning around." Again, you know what? You know what? Fine, I'll do it myself. Screw you guys.
Fair enough. That's so cool with the heartbeat.
This is a part of the meta, so basically everyone uses this. Funnily enough, I have found that as useful as this is, as good as it can be with the coordinated team, it's not nearly as god tier in pubs as everyone says it is. Maybe that's just because I suck with it. I don't know. When you see a crossbow medic in a pub, he is either a clutch god who nails 150 health cross-map arrows constantly, or he's that one guy who can't actually aim it, but insists on using it for the burst healing and faster Uber build, except, you know, you could have built 20% already while you've been standing here missing me at point blank, and now I'm dead. Okay, thanks, man.
Gotta love Afterburn. Overdose? I didn't know this existed.
Too fast, too quick. Oh, look how I'm going so fast.
I am speed.
Except not really, because that 20% buff really isn't all that much. And it only happens when you have really high Uber and you have your primary out, meaning you're probably using it to try and escape. This weapon would be way, way better if the speed buff was passive, but as it stands,
might be outdated, by the way.
Useless. Most people who want more survivability use the Blutsauger, so if you see this weapon out, there's a very good chance that they either don't take the game seriously and are just messing around, or they are completely clueless and they probably don't even know what game they're playing.
Oh.
Once again, this is a part of the meta. Pretty much everyone has used this at some point, and for good reason.
Yes.
It's just really good. Ubercharge is really good. And honestly, it's tough to pin down a medic going off of this alone. I mean, you can usually assume that they're only playing medic because nobody else will play them, and they spread heals fairly evenly, but they'll favor those with fancy hats and weapons. Man. So,
I love that. I love the melee.
Your typical medic.
Kritzkrieg.
This medic undoubtedly has a soldier boyfriend with an expensive, unusual, and a full professional killstreak set. He uses the Kritzkrieg because he's gotten so familiar with the game that he doesn't actually care about playing it smart anymore. He just wants to pub stomp and ruin people's days. Each one of those sweet crit kill assists fuels his ego more and more. He's so used to facing basically no adversity after his thousands of hours in TF2 that when there is any legitimate competition, he blames the game for being bad or unbalanced just because he can't get his 25 kill streak. And by this medic, I mean me. I'm sorry.
Who was voicing that?
This guy will spread heals very evenly, surprisingly. This is usually the Medi gun that gets used when his team really isn't that great, and they're taking too much damage to heal with any of the other Medi guns. So I guess this also fits into the I don't trust my team to keep me safe category of medic weapons. It's also a very useful anti-pyro weapon, since you get immunity from knockback with the Uber. Surprisingly, not many people know about this, and killing an air blast happy pyro with this will very often lead to accusations, which are always fun.
Really? Do they not understand how it works? Vaccinator.
Hello, Vaccinator. Otherwise known
I was
as
not expecting a female voice.
There are generally two distinct stereotypes that follow this weapon, the newbie and the veteran. The newbie is that player who's real new to the game and just got the Vaccinator from a drop. This player goes into this weapon completely clueless. You'll see them either indefinitely stuck on the bullet resistance because they don't know how the weapon works, or they just straight up don't know what the key to switch resistances is. If these players do know how to switch resistances, they usually have a response time as slow as a times 10 brass beast heavy trying to move. Now, the other kind of player you can see is absolutely terrifying with the Vaccinator. This kind of medic has experience with the class and the weapon. They have split-second reaction time in switching and activating resistances. They stack up the charges, charge into an enemy team with its allies, and will basically never die if it's a bullet, an explosion, or fire. Go spy or Gemini fire these guys, because chances are your pub team won't be able to coordinate well enough to gang up on the medic and overwhelm them. If it's not one of those stereotypes, though, it could also just be some friend of a cheater pocketing his impeccable, never-miss, snapping sniper pal to dominate and annoy the rest of the server. Those guys are dicks.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. Bonesaw. Following skit takes the form of radio broadcast with a sucker SFM give you by the tan to me. Okay. Feel free to minimize the video until the skit is over. Props will pretend that there's fancy looking sports intro graphic thing playing right now.
The live premiere of Medic Weapon Stereotypes, where everybody's excited to hear
this should be interesting.
For the stock Bonesaw. Everybody knows the obvious joke to make in this situation, but nobody knows if Soundsmith is going to make it. I'm on the edge of my seat, Peter.
I couldn't agree more.
There is no visuals for this part.
An incredibly strong season as a professional obvious joke maker, but given some of his past seasons, I'm not sure he's going to pull through.
Well, it looks like we're about to find out. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Like how it's just a radio broadcast. Just a black screen.
Array 7.
He did it! He actually did it!
He made the Array 7 joke. I can't believe it.
I don't understand.
Really, though, there is a reason this weapon has achieved legendary meme.
Did my dad just do what I think he did?
Meme status as the useless stock weapon.
Buffer?
There's no reason to use it over the Ubersaw.
My dad likes to sometimes connect to my Xbox and
like, at least the Amputator is somewhat useful in a very specific situation, and the Vitasaw is supposedly getting a rework in the next update, but this weapon is just, like, man.
Vitasaw.
This is a great weapon to use when your team can't protect you at all. It sees pretty frequent use in pubs which are notorious for this. At the end of the day, though, it's pretty bad compared to Medic's other melee options. I should also mention that it's getting a rework on the coming update, which might change
What's it going to
change? The new organ harvesting mechanic seems really cool, but I bet it's one of those things where we won't know for sure how good it is until we try it ourselves. So I guess if you see a medic with the Vitasaw, he probably doesn't trust his team at all, and he's also running the Blutsager and the Quick-Fix.
Okay.
I haven't used this weapon too much, so I'm not really in a position to say how good of a weapon this is and how big of a buff the whole seeing enemies' health thing is. One thing I've noticed, though, is that the people who use the Solemn Vow will always swear by it as a viable alternative to the Ubersaw. Even though basically everyone disagrees with them, they'll stick to their guns no matter what, which is actually kind of respectable.
What's the story behind that? The amputator. This is the one I think I've used.
Like, it's such an interesting weapon concept, and the AoE healing thing seems like it could be huge if it wasn't just completely overshadowed by the Ubersaw. In order for a medic to be effective with this, he needs to be in a safe spot so he can taunt and have lots of hurt teammates near him. It's a common choice to see in medieval mode and maps with hilariously bad choke points like Hoodoo and Dust Bowl, but at the end of the day, it's just really situational. And in that very specific situation, it's awesome, but everywhere else, it's just,
Nah. Ubersaw, no, this is the one
I've used, I think, right? And will look down upon anyone using any other melee weapon. I mean, after all, who could compete with the superior Ubersaw master race? Clearly everyone else is inferior. I mean, if we're being honest, there is a reason that this weapon has achieved its nearly unanimous use rate. That 25% Uber is a huge deal, so it makes sense why so many people use it.
It gets crits,
nice to have a melee that could at least compete with it. Also, it's worth noting that the random crit rate on this thing is absolutely ridiculous.
That's why I love it.
I love it. He whips out this thing and bam, random crit.
Dead.
You sneak up behind him, he notices you and bam, random crit. It's gotten to the point where you have to assume that
it's gonna crit every time.
Swings this weapon, it's going to be a crit.
I love it for that reason.
We're about to do something really cool, and then it never crits.
From a super old video, thought it'd be appropriate here. Whoa! Market gardening. Oh no! Oh no! It's so awkward. Wow! It's
well, that's all the weapons for medic. As always, let me know if you have a stereotype for any weapons in the next episode, which will be all about the sniper. So,
oh god, it's gonna be edgy. Can we get some edgy?
I'm not gonna make this drag on any longer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Oh man, Soundsmith does some great videos. Oh man, but yeah, like I said, I just reacted to Banny before this, so that was some other really good gameplay. I didn't even know like the Vaccinator was even a thing. I've seen people get like the little, I call it like an eggshell because it kind of looks like an egg. I wonder what that was, and now I know that's a Vaccinator, and it has different resistances for, I guess, bullet, explosions, and fire. So I learned something new from this video just about the weapons, and also learned the stereotypes. So that is awesome. Shout out to everybody that watch these videos. Like, seriously, thank each and every one of you. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe as we rebuild the channel, because a little over a year ago, my channel was deleted. I had to start all the way back over. I also have a gaming channel where I play Team Fortress 2. I don't know what the video was yesterday. I have a couple ideas. I'm not going to say anything, but I do one video a week over there. And they're pretty enjoyable videos, I like to think. There's a lot of time gets spent on those videos to make them really, really enjoyable. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, though, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, cue the music.